Hardcore cold heart. I'm the truth.
Some rappers rap about violence, but fold when violence finds them. Others *T on themselves the moment the pressure gets real. But every once in a while, someone actually stands on everything they rap about and proves that the streets behind the music aren't just lyrics, they're real life. When the drama shows up at their doorstep, they don't run from it, they face it head on. And that's when the difference between a studio gangster and someone who's really built like that becomes impossible to ignore.
Hey, shit on himself!
From 6ix9ine getting ambushed in a sauna to rappers finding themselves face-to-face with real danger, the line between music and reality can disappear fast. Moments like these remind everyone that the street stories in rap aren't always just entertainment. Sometimes the drama spills out of the songs and into real life, where things can turn serious in a matter of seconds. Some rappers rap about violence, but fold when violence finds them. Others panic when the pressure gets real. But every once in a while, the chaos jumps straight out of the music and into real life. In 2023, inside an LA fitness sauna in South Florida, a group of masked men stormed in and ambushed Tekashi 6ix9ine. There was no warning and no words, just fists flying from every direction. The rainbow-haired rapper tried to swing back, but it was 3 or 4 guys against 1. The numbers were ugly. Punches kept landing on his face, his head, everywhere. He couldn't cover up fast enough. By the time it was over, his face was swollen, cut up, and leaking blood. He ended up in the hospital getting patched up, looking nothing like the guy who used to troll entire rap crews from behind a phone screen. Surveillance footage from the gym spread across every platform within hours. Millions watched the clip on repeat, and memes popped up faster than his hospital discharge papers. Here's the thing about 6ix9ine. He spent years going live on Instagram calling out gang members, testifying against his own crew in federal court, and talking recklessly to almost anyone with a following. He built his entire brand on being the loudest and most disrespectful voice in the room. For a while it worked. The views were up, and the headlines never stopped. But when you move like that long enough, eventually someone catches you where there are no bodyguards and no cameras you control. That LA fitness sauna became the place where all that internet energy met real-life consequences. In a matter of minutes, he went from hip-hop's most infamous troll to hip-hop's most replayed punching bag, and that footage isn't going anywhere. And speaking of getting caught off guard in front of thousands of people, there was the moment involving XXXTentacion. At a packed 2017 concert in San Diego, right in the middle of performing, a hooded fan rushed the stage and blindsided him with a sucker punch that connected clean with his jaw. One shot was all it took. X dropped to the stage floor like someone hit an off switch, completely unconscious in front of thousands of screaming fans. Security scrambled, the crowd went wild, and nearly every phone in the building captured the moment from a different angle. The clip went mega viral overnight. X had built his image around being aggressive, fearless, and ready to fight anyone at any time. There were videos online of him scrapping, and he talked tough in interviews. Fans believed every bit of it. But that one moment, a random guy in a hoodie slipping past security and knocking him out on his own stage, flipped the whole narrative. The video became instant meme material. People looped the knockout, slowed it down, added sound effects, and turned it into one of the most shared clips in rap history. The craziest part is that X never saw it coming. He was mid-performance, locked into the show, and then the lights were out. No warning, no back and forth, just a fist out of nowhere and a body hitting the stage. For someone who prided himself on being that guy, getting knocked out cold in front of your own fans is about as bad as it gets. And the fact that the footage still circulates years later says everything. Now imagine getting chased down the street in broad daylight by another rapper while cameras are rolling. That's exactly what happened to Rich the Kid in June 2018 during the Roots picnic in Philadelphia. Lil Uzi Vert spotted him on the street, and it was instantly on sight. Uzi jumped out of his car, walked straight up and swung. What happened next became one of the funniest moments in rap beef history. Rich the Kid didn't jog. He didn't slowly back away. He flat out sprinted down the block like he had a track meet to get to. He ran straight into a Starbucks, jumped over the counter, and hid behind the register. Think about that for a second. A rapper who dropped songs about being tough literally hurdled a coffee shop counter to escape another rapper who weighs maybe 140 pounds soaking wet. The footage captured the entire chase. People inside the Starbucks were just standing there holding their lattes while watching a grown man leap over the espresso machines. The beef between them had been building for months with label disputes, diss tracks, and accusations of biting styles. But when Uzi actually pulled up, Rich chose flight over fight. No injuries were reported and no arrests were made. But the internet saw everything. Memes spread instantly, and the moment became part of rap internet history. At least Rich kept his face intact. The next rapper wasn't that lucky. In 2012, during a long-running online beef, the game ran into 40 Glock on the street. Cameras were already rolling when things escalated. The game started swinging and punch after punch landed clean. 40 Glock crumpled under the assault, trying to cover his face while stumbling and bleeding. The worst part was that the game filmed the entire thing himself and posted it online. He didn't wait for blogs or news outlets. He was his own cameraman and distributor. The video racked up millions of views almost immediately. Overnight, 40 Glock went from a respected West Coast name to a walking internet punchline. Every rap blog and comment section turned the clip into a meme. It didn't even look like a fight. It looked like a one-sided beating. 40 Glock later tried to take legal action, but once the internet has footage like that, the damage is permanent. That video still gets views today, which might be the real punishment. Your worst moment living online forever. And outside a Miami nightclub in 2015, another moment went viral for similar reasons. Rapper Stitches had spent weeks insulting the game and even targeting his kids online. He waited outside Story nightclub, hoping for a confrontation. When the game's crew finally came out, Stitches stepped forward, and that's when the game's manager, Whack 100, threw one single punch. Just one. Stitches dropped instantly and lay unconscious on the concrete for nearly a minute while chaos erupted around him. His mouth was busted open, and his body stayed motionless while people rushed around. Police arrived shortly after and even used a taser during the aftermath. But the real damage had already happened. The video spread everywhere, and Stitches became known for that knockout more than any song he ever made. At least he was standing when it happened. The next situation was even worse. In 2019, Chicago drill rapper Lil Reese was jumped by a group of attackers on a city street. Cell phone footage showed multiple people surrounding him and throwing punches and kicks while he tried to protect himself on the ground. It was a brutal scene, 5 people against 1, with bystanders recording instead of stepping in. The video went viral immediately, and rumors spread online claiming Reese had humiliated himself during the beating. Whether those rumors were true or not didn't matter. The memes were already everywhere, and the footage became another permanent internet moment. The internet rarely cares about context. It only cares about what the camera captured. And in that case, the camera showed one of Chicago's toughest drill rappers getting overwhelmed in broad daylight. Then there was the airport incident involving NLE Choppa in 2022. A fan approached him while filming and started taunting him, claiming loyalty to another rapper. Choppa swung at the guy, but he was wearing slides and carrying a heavy backpack. As he threw the punch, his feet slipped and he fell to the floor. The fan immediately claimed he had knocked Choppa out, even though no punch landed. Choppa later explained that he simply slipped, but the clip had already gone viral. The memes spread instantly because the internet rarely waits for the full story, and sometimes things don't even involve punches. In 2022, Soulja Boy confronted Charleston White after weeks of online arguments. Soulja arrived with a group of about 10 people. White responded by pulling out pepper spray and blasting the entire group. Within seconds, everyone scattered. No fight happened, but the footage still went viral because it showed an entire entourage getting neutralized by a small can of spray. From backstage festival scuffles to street brawls and nightclub knockouts, moments like these blur the line between rap image and real-world consequences. In the music, everybody sounds fearless. But when the cameras catch what really happens outside the studio, the internet never forgets. And once those clips start circulating, they become part of hip-hop history, whether the artist likes it or not.
I'm the truth.
In May 2019, at a Louis Vuitton store in Charlotte, North Carolina, a local rapper named Cam Coldheart walked up to DaBaby with his phone out, recording and provoking him by calling him scary and accusing him of hiding behind the police. The whole situation was clearly meant to be a clout play. Catch DaBaby on camera, get a reaction, and go viral. DaBaby ignored him at first, but then Cam threw a punch and missed. That turned out to be the wrong move. DaBaby swung back and didn't miss. What followed was a one-sided beating that left Cam bloodied, dazed, and on the ground with his pants sagging down. The footage showed everything. Cam laid out on the floor of a luxury store, clearly hurt, while DaBaby stood over him. Cam's crew didn't step in, and nobody saved him from the moment. After the video dropped, Cam tried to control the narrative, claiming it was a setup for clout, and that DaBaby's security jumped him. He even said he wanted a rematch, but the footage told a different story. He walked into a store talking tough, swung first, missed, and then got his whole situation rearranged in front of the handbag display. The beef reportedly started when Cam accused DaBaby of not representing Charlotte properly. No charges were filed, but the clip became one of those classic talk and find out moments people reference whenever a rapper starts something they can't finish. From Charlotte, the story moves all the way to Johannesburg for a fight that almost ended before it even started. In February 2026, while training for a celebrity boxing match against former NBA player Nick Young, Blueface suffered a massive gash under his right eye during a sparring session. His sparring partner, a professional heavyweight, accidentally caught him with an elbow that split his face open. Blood was everywhere, and the footage showed the damage in full detail. Blueface actually leaked the images himself. He went to a Los Angeles medical facility the next day to get stitches. Instead of hiding from the injury, he leaned into it, calling the scar his new beauty mark, and framing it as proof he was taking the fight seriously. He told medical staff the injury happened during sparring the previous day and felt like a punch when it landed. No long-term damage was reported, and he continued training. Still, getting your face split open before the actual fight isn't exactly a confidence booster. The whole point of training camp is to prepare, not to walk into the fight already scarred. Sparring with professional heavyweights when you're a rapper preparing for a celebrity match was a bold decision, and it clearly came with consequences. The cut was deep enough to require stitches and noticeable enough to trend online. Fans clowned him for getting hurt in practice, with memes joking that he already looked like he lost before the fight even started. Blueface kept pushing forward, but the scar told a story long before the bell ever rang. From sparring injuries to a full-blown brawl involving stabbings, bite marks, and shattered glass, the next incident was pure chaos. In May 2025, Ghanaian rapper Showboy got into a violent fight with his former artist, 2Hype KT in Kumasi, that turned into one of the wildest rapper brawls in recent memory. It started as an argument at Showboy's hotel, but the situation quickly escalated when KT and others allegedly attacked him. Showboy was left bloodied and beaten, but the fight became even more shocking when reports claimed he bit off part of KT's ear during the struggle. Showboy was also stabbed in the back, and his car's rear windshield was smashed during the chaos. Footage later showed Showboy being escorted away by police covered in blood while his damaged vehicle sat behind him. Both Showboy and KT were arrested and remanded in custody for 2 weeks following a court appearance. The fight reportedly stemmed from a falling out in their professional relationship, with Showboy accusing KT of betrayal. Social media videos captured everything: the damaged cars, the blood, the police presence, and the injuries on both sides. Showboy later denied some claims circulating online, but the incident had already gone viral. This wasn't a clean one-on-one fight. It was a hotel confrontation that spiraled into stabbings, biting, and property destruction. Both men ended up behind bars, both ended up injured, and the internet got more than enough footage to keep the story alive for a long time. And that brings us to the darker side of rap conflicts, violence that continues even behind bars. When people talk about rappers getting caught up in real prison politics, one name that always comes up is Tekashi 6ix9ine. Born Daniel Hernandez, the rainbow-haired rapper became famous for trolling rivals online, but things changed once he was locked up. Back in November 2018, after being arrested on federal racketeering and firearms charges connected to the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods, he was placed in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn after being denied bail. According to reports, as soon as he entered the intake unit, several inmates affiliated with rival gangs approached him to check him, basically testing whether he was really about the life he claimed in public or just putting on an act for the internet. The tension reportedly escalated quickly before correctional officers stepped in to prevent a fight. His lawyer later claimed he wasn't intimidated, but prison officials decided not to take any chances and transferred him to another facility for his safety. While some rappers try to avoid trouble behind bars, others gain a reputation for embracing it. Chicago drill rapper King Von, born Davon Bennett, became legendary for a fight that took place inside Cook County Jail around October 2017. At the time, Vaughn was facing an attempted murder charge and ended up in the same holding area as Rashad Howard, also known as 051 Freaky, an alleged rival connected to a crew at war with Vaughn's O-Block set. According to reports and leaked surveillance footage, Vaughn managed to slip one hand out of his handcuffs with the help of another inmate. Once free, he approached Freaky, who was still cuffed, and began attacking him with punches to the head and body. The beating lasted only seconds before deputies rushed in to break it up, but the footage quickly spread online. In later interviews, Freaky claimed he couldn't fight back because he was restrained, but the clip had already gone viral and further fueled Vaughn's reputation as someone willing to fight anywhere, even inside jail. Another rapper known for surviving violent jail environments is Brooklyn artist Casanova. Before his music career took off, he spent years navigating the brutal conditions of Rikers Island. Casanova has openly spoken about how dangerous the jail was, admitting in interviews that he was involved in numerous fights and even stabbed or cut multiple inmates during his time there. While only a few incidents appeared on official paperwork, he claimed the real number was much higher. Those experiences came with serious consequences. At one point, Casanova spent nearly 3 years in solitary confinement. Despite that, the stories from his time in Rikers became part of his street reputation long before he ever signed a record deal. Unfortunately, not every rapper survives prison violence. One tragic case involved Money Sign Suede, a rising Mexican-American rapper from Huntington Park, Los Angeles. Known for songs like Back to the Bag, Suede was gaining momentum in the industry when his life was cut short. On April 25, 2023, while serving a 32-month sentence at the Correctional Training Facility in Soledad, California, he was found unresponsive during a head count. Prison staff discovered him in the shower area with stab wounds to his neck. Despite emergency efforts, he was pronounced dead later that night at just 22 years old. Authorities launched a homicide investigation, but the exact circumstances behind the attack remain unclear. His death shocked the rap community and served as a grim reminder of how dangerous prison life can be. Other incidents show just how chaotic jail environments can become when rival crews end up in the same place. One example involved Kodak Black in 2019 at the Federal Detention Center in Miami. Reports claim Kodak was involved in a fight with another inmate, and when a correctional officer tried to intervene, the situation escalated further. The officer reportedly suffered serious injuries and required surgery afterward. Kodak's legal team later claimed he had been drugged before the incident, arguing that something had been placed in his drink that caused him to behave erratically. The rapper was eventually transferred to another facility. Violence behind bars has also surfaced in Atlanta's Fulton County Jail, where rapper CP3, associated with YFN Lucci's Circle, was reportedly attacked in 2023 by inmates connected to the rival YSL crew. Leaked footage showed multiple inmates surrounding him, beating and stabbing him during a brief but brutal assault. Despite suffering serious injuries, CP3 survived after receiving medical treatment. Another rapper, Xa from Jacksonville, reportedly faced a stabbing attack just days after receiving a life sentence for murder. Sources claim the assault happened during a security shift change, allowing an unauthorized inmate to reach him. He suffered multiple stab wounds and blunt force injuries before guards regained control of the situation. And in Chicago's Cook County Jail, FBG Butter once described a violent confrontation with rival rapper Tay Savage. According to Butter's own account, the fight began after an insult and quickly escalated into a chaotic brawl involving multiple inmates before guards intervened. Stories like these show how street rivalries don't always end when someone goes to jail. In many cases, the conflicts simply move behind bars, where the stakes can become even more dangerous. Finally, one of the most mysterious cases involves Rwandan hip-hop pioneer Jay Polly. In 2021, he was arrested for organizing an illegal party that violated COVID-19 restrictions. Months later, he died while in custody at Majaragir prison in Kigali. Officials claimed he and other inmates had consumed a toxic homemade drink made from disinfectant and sugar, but many fans and human rights groups questioned the explanation. Jay Polly was only 33 years old, and his death sparked widespread debate about prison conditions and transparency in the investigation. From viral street fights to violent prison incidents, these stories show the harsh reality behind rap beef and internet bravado. The cameras may capture the moments, but the consequences often last far longer than the clips that made them famous.